I don't cross my T's. I don't dot my I's. I won't say pretty please or speaking little white lies. I've got a rebel soul. 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 Oh, just get down with it, down with it, down with it. Just get down. I ain't no thing that you can chain with a ring. And I ain't no price.
Happy Tuesday and welcome to Thriving Women Talk, the series that enlightens, encourages, and empowers women to thrive, not just survive. Our Thriving Woman question today is, what does happiness mean to you? Is your happiness a person, a place, or thing? By the end of today's show, we want to inspire you to take time to find your true happiness. In today's life strategy segment, we will listen to India monks discuss what is happiness, how to find happiness, and does happiness exist. In our Thriving Women in Business segment, we invited the best-selling author Linda Sunshine West and CEO of Action Takers Publishing. Linda will share her personal journey after COVID to finding her happiness in inspiring people to write their fiction or nonfiction story. In our Thriving Women Travel segment, we're taking a 4K virtual tour of the Turks and Caicos private island resort, Como Parrot Cay. So let's get started. A lot to unfold. My name is Dagmar Fleming. I'm founder of Unlock Your Success and the Athena Circle, streaming from very sunny Dallas, Texas. And I'm here with my fellow co-host, Debbie Weaver-Rochelle, who's a CPO at the Thriving Women Network. She's coming to us from Chicago, Illinois. I hear the weather there is good too. So it's all sunny for our happiness episode. And today's topic is on happiness. So Debbie, do you think happiness is a person, a place, or thing? How do we find happiness?
Well, I think happiness is a place you find inside yourself. And it takes a lot of work sometimes because there are a lot of people out there who don't know what happiness is. I think you have to balance your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual selves and get rid of negativity. And that's hard sometimes. It takes baby steps.
I fully agree. And I also think it's a power of focus that can put us back onto the track of happiness. Because, like you said, if we keep focusing on the negative that's going in our lives, sometimes it's hard to find these golden moments of joy and peace, calm, and happiness. So I'm
Yes.
so looking forward to talking more about it in the show today. But
Yeah.
also, we are recognizing Mental Health Awareness Month. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, May is Health Awareness Month, and our mission is to address the many challenges that face millions of people around the world with mental health conditions. Throughout the month, organizations actively participate in this national movement dedicated to eradicating stigmas, extending support, fostering public education, and advocating for the policies that prioritize the well-beings of individuals and families affected by mental illness. We are doing our part by sharing empowering stories of people that are sharing their mental health advocacy in songs, books, poems, and journals. Today, we are honoring Amanda Gorman, inaugural poet for her book, Call Us What We Carry, in which she explores the history, the language, and the identity through an imaginative and intimate collage. She harnesses our collective grief of a global pandemic. This beautifully designed book features poems in many inventive styles and structures and shines a light on the moment of reckoning. Her poems reveal that she has become our messenger from the past, our voice for the future. Let's listen to one of her poems from her book. Well, I think we lost sound on that video. I apologize for that. In the month of May, our life strategy topics, like the topic of sleep that we talked about last week, will inspire us to reimagine what matters the most in our lives. Amanda touched on sleep and constant fatigue in her poem Fugue. Unfortunately, we didn't hear that. Do you know that? Are you familiar with that poem, Dagmar, by any chance?
I am not, but how do we find happiness in ourselves? Well, again, we just started this show talking about releasing the negative aspects of our lives, or at the very least, not giving them so much attention, because what we focus on magnifies.
That's
So
for
if
sure.
we've got, even slight moment of happiness in our lives, if we can bring that to our attention and say, what a beautiful life I am living, even if it's just in this moment, then it will change how we start responding to situations. We'll start looking for something positive in everything that's unfolding. And as a result, we will slowly let go of worry and anxiety and panic. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But we do have more coming up in the show. And in fact, let's talk a little bit about what is happiness, how to find it. We all agree that when children are born, they're happy. Why? So Google says that happiness is a positive and a pleasant emotion, ranging from contentment to intense joy. And it is triggered by positive life experiences of thoughts. When children wake up and their basic needs are taken care of, they are naturally happy. So, what happens to our happiness when we are adults? Well, our happiness is weakened by our thoughts, experiences, and a lack of life's basic needs. So, let's listen to Sadhguru talk about the pursuit of happiness that we were born with, but how we have added less joy and happiness throughout our lives.
So, what is well-being? When do you really feel well in your life? When do you truly feel well? When you're very happy, you're well. Even if you're physically ill, you're still well, isn't it? Even if you're medically diagnosed as ill, you're very happy right now, you're feeling well, isn't it? So fundamentally, well-being means a certain level of joyfulness, certain exuberance of life. What is happiness? We can say happiness is this, that, but in terms of life, your life energies are happening in a more exuberant way than it normally happens. Depression means your life energies have become very low and state. Happiness means your life energies are exuberant. There are many ways of describing happiness, but only those who are happy know what it means to be happy. There is nobody who has not been happy. Everybody's been happy, but the problem is they're not able to maintain it, that's all, isn't it? Everybody's been happy. In the last 24 hours, how many moments of joy have you known? 1, 2, 3, how many? Maybe you can count on your fingers. Many people have nothing to count. When you were 5 years of age, a child, How many moments of joy did you know in 24 hours? Lots of them, isn't it? Somebody had to make you unhappy. Now somebody has to make you happy, isn't it? The whole equation has gotten reversed somehow. All this effort of life, everything that you did, education, career, business, family, whatever you did, everything was in pursuit of happiness, is it so? Everything that humanity has done on this planet is in pursuit of happiness, is it so? In the last 100 years, we have done too much on this planet. With the use of science and technology, we have changed the very face of this planet. Today, we have the kind of comforts and conveniences that no other generation could ever even imagine. Yes? What royalty could not afford 100 years ago, today average citizens have, isn't it so? Aren't most of you driving chariots with 100, 200 horses? Yes? Even kings could not afford this. But are we any happier? We are definitely the most comfortable generation ever on this planet, is it so, physically? But are we also the most joyful generation? So it's not worked. Science and technology has brought enormous amount of comfort and convenience to our lives, things that we could not imagine just 25 years ago, are just a living reality today, isn't it? But are we any more joyful? No. And all these comforts and conveniences have not come easy, they've come at a tremendous cost to every other life on this planet. Yes? Every creature, from plant to animal to everything, including human beings, have paid an enormous price to create these comforts and conveniences, and we are not even happy. What is the point? We are literally making a bonfire of this planet. If you are ecstatic, it's okay, burn the planet, it's all right. We are not even happy. I think it's time to really look at it, isn't it? Why are we burning it up if we are not even happy?
Well, that was very interesting. And Dagmar, what are your thoughts about comfort versus happiness?
You know, Debbie, we don't think it in these terms, but now listening to Sadhguru, it really made me think, are we trying to replace happiness with material pursuits, with ease of life, and somehow get lost in this paradigm of thinking? I totally agree that if we go back 200-300 years ago, life was simpler and perhaps happier.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. So during our breaks, we will be enlightened, encouraged, and empowered by author Sean Ankur Segura, founder and head of the Isha Foundation, and monk Gaur Gopal Das, on why happiness is a state of mind. Later in our show, in our travel segment, we will be taking a 4K virtual tour of Kirk's and Caicos private island, Como Parrot Cay. That place looks amazing. I've seen that place before on things. We will be right back and meet our thriving guest, Linda Sunshine West. Thriving Women Talk is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network, training, coaching, and mentoring. Visit our website at www.thrivingwomennetwork.com to learn more. We'll be right back.
I want to tell you a story. Are you ready? Yes. There was a king, and the king was walking with his minister one day, and in the farm, he saw a farmer along with his family, husband, wife, and son. They were buzzing, so much life in them. Their faces were radiant, they were happy, they were beaming with joy. They were singing. They had so much affection and love for each other. And the king said, "Man, I have a massive palace and I have everything that one could dream for. And these guys are more happier than me. Why? Minister said, sir, because this family is not a member of the 99 Club. So the king said, what is 99 Club? Minister said, give me 99 gold coins, I'll tell you. So the king gave him a bag of 99 gold coins, and the minister said, after 6 months I will tell you, not today. So the minister took that bag of 99 gold coins and put it right at the doorstep of the farmer. In the morning when the farmer got up, he saw a bag right at his doorstep. He picked the bag up, went back into his house. Excited as he was, he opened the bag, and gosh, lo and behold, glittering gold coins. He'd never come across such a stroke of good fortune. He emptied the contents on the floor and started counting. They were 99. बोला नहीं मैं गड़बड़ किया गिनने में, इतना एक्साइटेड हूं कि वापस गिनता हूं. वापस गिना 99. He said, कौन है वो इडियट जो एक डालना भूल गया? डालना चाहिए था तो राउंड फिगर होना चाहिए ना. इन 99 पे क्या किया? So he called his wife, तू गिन भाई, मेरा सर चल तू गिन. So she counted. बोले नहीं 99. बोले तेरा भी तो ही चल रहा है. He called the son, said गिन. Everyone 99. He said, God, we can't live like this. इसको 100 तो करना पड़ेगा. So he started working hard to get that one gold coin, and it would take him months and years to get one. And then the wife was thinking, my husband, such a nut. Such a nut. We have 99 gold coins and this guy doesn't spend anything. So she took 2 gold coins and went for shopping. So every day the guy would come, and in the evening he would count the gold coins. So that day he came and he counted the gold coins. Only 97. पहले एक कम था, अभी 2 गया. So he shouted, where did the 2 gold coins go? She said, well, I'm not a nut like you. I thought I'll go do some shopping. So I went and spent the 2 gold coins. Oh God, the farmer yelled, I am toiling, working hard, putting my blood and sweat to get that 1 gold coin, and you nuts are spending these 2 gold coins away. Meanwhile, the son spent 2 more, 95 left. 6 months passed by, and the king and the minister were walking by. And the buzz had gone, the life had gone, the song had gone, the love had gone. There's only arguments, fights, bickering. And the king said, what happened? 6 महीने में इतना कैसे बदल गए लोग? The minister said, now they are officially members of the 99 Club. So the king said, man, you took 99 gold coins. What is the 99 Club? The minister said, 99 Club is a club of those who have 99 gold coins, but in running after the one, they don't use their 99 gold coins. एक के पीछे भागते भागते ना 100 पे पहुंचते पहुंचते ना ये 99 का क्या अचार डालना है? I have learnt one thing in my life, and I thoroughly believe in it. Don't wait for the destination. Start finding happiness while you are on the journey. Don't postpone your happiness to then. 10वीं में जाऊंगा, 12वीं में जाऊंगा, नौकरी मिलेगा, ऐसा होएगा, तैसा होएगा, फिर होगा. Today, I may have the greatest challenge. That doesn't mean I should postpone my satisfaction. Today I may be in the middle of the greatest chaos. That doesn't mean I should postpone my satisfaction. Happiness is a journey, not a destination.
Wow, what a beautiful message. Happiness is a journey, not a destination.
Yes.
Oh my
Well,
God.
Irina, how are you
So
feeling after
excited.
seeing this message?
Oh my God. I love everything. And it just teaches us, right, that we have to be happy in every given moment. Not the objects, not the outside world, not the person makes us happy. We can actually create that happiness from within and live from every moment, live from that happiness and know that we are the creators. Nobody affects that happiness. We are the ones to create that happiness for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to Thriving Women in Business segment. I am here with my fellow co-host, Irina Portnova, who's a manifestation coach, and Vera Thomas, who's about to have a treat for us. And in this segment, we meet people that have found their passion, faced their fears, worked hard while giving back to others, and now are living life on their own terms with joy and happiness. So, we've got a special treat for everyone here today. Vera is going to share with us a beautiful poem.
Yes. And what I want to say, if I were to say to you, close your eyes and tell me how many windows you have in your living room. With your eyes open, you can see those windows, right, ladies? You can see those windows, right? Well, if you can see your windows, you can see your life. See the windows in any room with eyes open wide or shut tight. See the quality of your living by what you do or say. Do you see happiness or gloom in the life you live today? Are the clouds of despair the only thing you see? Do you wonder who cares to come and rescue me? If you can see your windows, you can see your life. You can change clouds to sunshine by doing what you feel is right. See the rainbows in your life, fleeting moments in your day. See the beauty you can find in what you do or say. We are what we think about every day. We live by faith, fear, or doubt, believing life is but one way. We can think ourselves into happiness, misery, or pain by seeing what we stand to lose or seeing what we stand to gain. If you can see your windows, you can see your life. Awareness is the key. You have the control. You can see your life bright. Happiness is a mindset and it's intrinsic. We look out here for happiness when all we need to do is look inside ourselves, be thankful for what we have, and be focused on more positives than negatives. And everything that happens to us happens for a reason. So if we could understand that there's a lesson or a reason behind everything, no matter what it is, then we can see happiness in it. Thank you, ladies, for giving me this opportunity to come on your segment to share this.
Wow, this was so beautiful. The power of seeing properly. Wow. I can't wait to hear more from Vera later on in our show. But before we meet our special guest, let's watch this video on happiness from a kid's perspective to remind us that happiness is not a destination, it is a decision.
What in your life has brought you the most joy?
My parents. Doing stuff that I haven't did in a long time really good. Seeing my friend Amelia.
Having a sister.
Video games.
My family and my friends.
My family.
My brother and my dog.
Doing plays and shows and stuff. I love acting.
My family. My career.
My family.
Music.
Moving to New York.
I think doing creative projects with people I love.
I would say any time that I get to spend with my two siblings and my parents would be the most joyful times that I have.
I finally got settled and unpacked my suitcase. That sounds like a very small thing, but growing up I moved 15 times. Then for uni I moved another 6. For work I pack things a lot and unpack, so it was really nice to feel like I finally had my own home.
My family has brought me a lot of joy.
A year ago, I got a gig for one of my favorite director.
My friends and my family, for sure.
Moving to New York City.
Entertaining other people.
Music.
My music and what I want to say in my music.
Again, going back to my doggy, Alfie. Just look at him, I just can't stop smiling. Just every time I see him.
Performing on stage. Writing, and my 2 cats.
Dance.
Reading.
Honestly, music.
The ability to let loose of what society wants from me and just live for myself and pursue whatever I want to do.
I think my
Irina, you have the honors to introduce our guest, Linda Sunshine West. So let's welcome her to the stage.
Absolutely. We are very excited to have Linda Sunshine West in our studio. This is Linda's story. She ran away at 5 years old and was gone an entire week. She came home riddled with fears and in turn became a people pleaser. At age 51, she decided to face one fear every day for the entire year. In doing so, she gained a lot of confidence and now uses what she learned to fulfill her mission of empowering 5 million women and men to write their stories to make a greater impact on the planet. Linda is the founder and CEO of Action Takers Publishing, a speaker, 22 times #1 international best-selling and award-winning author, executive contributing author at Brains Magazine, executive film producer, and red carpet interviewer. You may be thinking, did she do this transformation alone? Well, at 51, she found a life coach who helped her discover that she has value and that it was time for her to share her voice and speak out loud. In doing so, Linda was met with praise, recognition, and acknowledgement. Linda no longer sits in the back of the room, but now speaks on the stages, interviews stars on the red carpet, makes TV and podcast appearances, publishes books, and creates positive and uplifting communities for her clients. Linda, welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. And I love the topic of happiness. This is something that I spent many years in my life not really being happy. So to move to that place, after breaking through those fears every day for a year really helped me to move into the happiness spot. So I'm excited to be here today.
Yay, and we are so excited to have you with us. So Linda, before we chat about your life transformation, is happiness a person, a place, or a thing at this point in your life? And how has it changed?
Well, it's interesting because I looked up the definition of happiness versus joy because I really wanted to know the true definition. And it defines, happiness as a fleeting moment. So this could be, like a moment that you met somebody, you saw somebody, maybe you watched a movie or what have you. Whereas joy is something that lives within us. And this is something that we carry around with us no matter what circumstances are going on. So I looked at happiness and I said, during the break, I had to go to my bedroom because I wanted to get something to show you guys that made me so happy when I got this. So I wanted to share it. Something so simple, like one of the persons on the commercial said, it may seem simple, but just unpacking my clothing, that was something that was made her happy. Well, these shoes right here, I call them the mermaid shoes because they have the mermaid color of the iridescence and stuff. I bought these shoes and I was giddy at the store just getting those shoes. Now, I'm not really much of a shoe person, but I've been wanting something that's like a kid's shoe like that for years. And I finally got it. And then I got these. These are little banana slippers. Oh my gosh. See, they just bring so much joy to me. And it's like the simple things in life when we can really celebrate those small things, whether it's, seeing somebody or getting something like a thing, right? So a person, place, or thing. Yes. Happiness is all of those. And I want to share just something that came to mind as you were playing that last commercial. I remember my daughter and she was about age 7, maybe. So was that like second grade. And I dropped her off at school that morning and then I went and picked her up. And when we left the school, she was waving bye to her friends. And then later that night was like parent teacher night or something like that. And I brought her back to the school and we're at the parent teacher night and she sees the same exact friend that she saw 3 hours ago. She's like, oh my God, there's Jane. You know, she was so excited to see the person that she saw just 3 hours ago. How simple is it that we can tap into happiness at a moment, at a time that we're feeling down? All we need is some kind of spark of something that brings us into that state of mind, that state of vision, that we're excited. What if we could live our lives that way every day? Maybe not all day, because that could be tiring. But what if we could live our lives that way every single day? We can. And just like they mentioned, happiness is a choice. It's a choice.
Tired of happiness. I don't think it's possible.
It's such a beautiful share, Linda. Thanks so much. Yes. And like you said, it could be the objects or whatever is in the present moment that we are joyful and happy about. That's exactly all in our perception. Linda, in your bio, you mentioned that you ran away from home for a week. Looking back in retrospect, what happened to your personal happiness that time?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I ran away because I was growing up in a very volatile, abusive, alcoholic household. And at 5 years old, I took it upon myself and said, I am not living here. This is not the kind of environment I want to live in. You know, like how smart that was at age 5, right? But so I ran away. I just went to the neighbor's house. So I was in a safe environment. Now, what happened during that time is my mom knew where I was, but she didn't come to get me. Neither did my siblings or my dad. And so instilled in this little 5-year-old brain was that they didn't come to get me because they don't love me and they don't want me around. So when I came home from that environment, my mom called the neighbor a week later and said, Linda's been gone long enough. You can send her home now. I came home with my head bent down. Literally, I didn't look at people in the eyes for another 46 years. I walked around with my head bent down like this. I never looked at anybody, because I had so much fear that was instilled inside of me. And I became one of the greatest people pleasers on the planet. A badge of honor that I wore proudly at the time, that now I'm like, okay, I'm no longer a people pleaser. I wear this one much more proudly. So it's interesting that what happens is, there's circumstances in our lives that happen, and what are we going to do with them? I could have chosen to not let the fear get me, but I did. And that's how I lived my life until I was 51 years old.
Well, Linda, thank you for sharing that story. And I can understand how traumatic that was, because actually what I do when I work with my clients is on releasing those negative emotions that happened early in their childhood that now control how they show up in the world. It looks, though, that you were able to overcome that, which is, congratulations to you for elevating yourself out of those circumstances. And you mentioned something important. A lot of women struggle between pleasing others and prioritizing their own happiness. So how, did you get past that desire to blend in and make sure that everything is okay? Because it's a form of control. Let's just make everyone love us, so there is no need for turmoil or chaos. How did you reprioritize to your own well-being, your own joy and happiness?
I definitely did not do this alone. I had a life coach that I worked with, and I loved how you said, blend in, because my whole mission was to be a chameleon, to blend into any situation, to walk into any room and have everybody like me. That was my mission. I just want everybody to like me. That was my mantra. That was the mantra I used to live by. I don't live by that mantra anymore. But my life coach, there was an exercise that she did that's was the catalyst to move into everything. And that was to make a list of everything I absolutely love doing. This was a hard thing for me to do because I never focused on myself. I never thought about, what do I love? What do I want to do? It was always like, ooh, they love that. I love it too. They hate that. I hate it too. I was just always following the crowd. And so that list was the first exercise I did that helped me to see that I do actually have my own thoughts. something I never really exercised. And then to move into that space was to do an exercise of 5 minutes every day, do one thing on that list. And that was the catalyst that started it in motion. And then every week that 5 minutes increased to 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and then, up to 30, 40, 50. And then next thing I know, every day for a couple of hours a day, I'm doing something I absolutely love. I needed to move into that space to know, what do I love? What does this feel like? If I love that, then why am I not doing more of it? And so it really moved me into this positivity state of mind. Not 100% of the time, but like vast majority of my time is spent in a positive emotional state, which for me creates so much of a better world around me. Sunshine's not my given name. It was the name that people gave me after I started this journey. Nobody called me Sunshine the first 50 something years of my life, but now they started calling me Sunshine,
Yeah, but now you deserve to be called Sunshine. And, you touched on something that I also share a lot with my clients, and that is self-acceptance and loving the aspects of our character, expression, our dreams. We spend so much time hating ourselves or berating or criticizing that the whole notion of happiness and joy gets lost. So one of the exercises I share with my clients is, I love the part of me that, and whatever it is that right now is not going well in your life, if you just love this aspect, let's say I love the part of me that's struggling with money, or I love the part of me that's afraid to be a public speaker. And what ends up that happiness erases fear. It starts putting us on a track to what we want because we are diminishing the resistance. And you, I presume, working with your life coach, you were also focused on eradicating those fears so you can step into your bigger purpose.
Yeah, one thing that's mentioned in my bio is that I broke through one fear every single day for a year. So it was after working with my life coach that I had an epiphany one morning, and that was that I was allowing all of my fears to stop me from living my life. So I made a dedication to myself to break through one fear every single day. I didn't know what was going to come of it. I didn't know what fears I was going to encounter, but I realized about 6 months into it that the vast majority of my fears were based on the fear of judgment. What will they think about me? What will they say about me? There's a saying that more people are scared of speaking on stage than they are of dying, and that's not true. The truth is that more people are scared of the judgment that they might receive on stage than they are of dying. It's the fear of judgment. We talk about the fear of success. It's not really the fear of success. It's the fear of judgment that if I become successful, what will they think about me? It's not the fear of failure. It's the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment that if I fail, what will they think about me? Right? So if we really look at it, the bottom line, the vast majority of our fears are related to the fear of judgment. So if we can rid ourselves of judgment, the fear of judgment, which, by the way, is most of the time our own judgment of ourselves. We are our own worst enemies. If we could become our own best cheerleaders, what happens is we notice that we're not really as concerned about what other people think of us. And we also change our vision of judgment against others. And so it's really this awesome cyclical thing that if we can stop judging ourselves so much, we will stop judging others. And it just creates a better environment everywhere we go.
Linda, I could not agree more. And I think the fear of judgment, it's part of that tribal consciousness, because when we started evolving as humanity, our survival depended on being part of the group, out of a community. And we developed this desire to get along with everyone so that we're not thrown out of the cave and into the jungle and be left to survive on our own. So what an exciting conversation we're having with you, and there's more to come. So when we come back, we will talk about your transition from being an employee to taking charge of your destiny, becoming an entrepreneur, and how you were facing the fears and embraced confidence to thrive. So for our viewers, if you have additional questions for Linda Sunshine West, make sure to join our private Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and post a comment or question. During our break, we will hear a review of the book Happiness Advantage. Friday in Women Talk is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring. Visit our website, thrivingwomennetwork.com, to learn more.
Imagine something that makes you happy. Leave a comment below of what that thing is that makes you happy. Imagine eating food at a high-quality restaurant with the two main ingredients being chicken and noodles. And it's also something that you eat from a bowl. Now guess this word. You probably guessed soup, right? Could have been a lot of other words. It could have been soap. This is an effect called priming. What you talk about before something primes your brain to get ready for what can happen next. If I would have been talking about bathing and cleanliness, you would have guessed soap. In the Happiness Advantage, Sean Aker mentions that when we prime our brain with happy thoughts, it has been proven that we become more successful, more creative, and more outgoing. This is why the company Google encourages dog days where workers can bring their dogs to work and to often take breaks playing ping pong and soccer. And this is the first principle of the Happiness Advantage, that successful people aren't always happy, but happy people are always successful. They did a test on mindset, and what they did was they blindfolded 13 students and rubbed this mysterious plant on their arm. They told them it was poison ivy plant. And what they found was that all 13 of the students' arms broke out with itching, boils, and redness. At the end of the study, they found out it wasn't actually poison ivy, it was just a common herb. And this is a really interesting experiment because there's no way that their arms should have broken out. However, their mindset made their body react this way. This is principle number 2, the lever and the fulcrum. You can move your mind in a way so that you better experience life. Another test included using seniors that are aged 85 years old, and they told these seniors to dress, act, and talk like they were 55 years old. They did this for a week and they found that the seniors had improved signs of physical strength, posture, short-term memory, and actually looked younger. And this is because they got rid of their own mental stereotypes of what it is like being old. They moved their mind.
Yes.
Well,
I can relate to that.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Welcome to our Thriving Women in Business. In this segment, we meet people that have found their passion, faced their fears, and worked hard while giving back to others and now are enjoying life on their terms with joy and happiness. We are honored to have Linda Sunshine West, founder and CEO of Action Takers Publishing, speaker, 22-time #1 international best-selling and award-winning author, contributing author to Brains Magazine, executive film producer, and red carpet interviewer. Wow, what a resume. Welcome back, Linda, to the show.
Thank you. Again, excited to be here. I love this topic, and especially, jumping out of the corporate world that I was in for 36 years and I had 49 jobs. So excited to talk about the journey after, the happiness journey, right?
Yes. And so let's talk about your first experience as a published writer. How did you find your confidence to pivot from writing to founding Action Takers Publishing?
Yeah, I'm chuckling because I was never a writer. I call myself the accidental publisher because I was never interested in reading and I was never interested in writing. The only things I ever read were textbooks or books that would teach me how to use different computer programs. And so in 2015 is the year I was breaking through one fear every single day. And during that year, I ended up meeting somebody who would become my mentor. His name is Greg Reed, and he was putting together a collaboration book where, several people come together. They just share a short snippet of their story, and then the book is created. And he invited me to be in that book. It's called Footsteps of the Fearless. And the reason it made sense because I was breaking through a fear every day. So it was perfect for me to join in that book. And that was a daunting process. I got to tell you, I was scared to participate in that, but I was breaking through a fear every day. And so I said, okay, this is why I got to do this. And so, I participated in that book. And then after that year was done, he looked at me, Greg, he looked at me and he said, that's awesome that you broke through a fear every day, this year, but what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, I think that's plenty. I don't need to do anything more. And he goes, no, you need to write a book about it. And I'm like, who wants to read my story? I don't have anything important. I'm not anybody. I'm no one, you know? And he goes, no, there are people out there who need to read your story. So I ended up writing The Year of Fears. And that book was a year and a half in the making. By the time I finally finished it, I published it. 3 months later, I met this woman who bought my book. I didn't know her, but she bought the book and she said, I read the first 14 pages and I already broke through 5 fears. That was my aha, like, wow, our stories do matter. And that was where I said, you know what? I was in a book. I wrote a book. What's my next natural state of progression? Because I want to keep growing. And so I decided to put together my first collaboration book where I bring together people, follow in the footsteps of my mentor. And I brought together people like the founder of UGG Boots, the inventor of the credit card magnetic strip, the creator of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I was like, these are people I met on my journey. And I said, I'm putting together a collaboration book. Will you join it? And they all said, yes, just tell me what I need to do. The point there is you got to ask. If you want something, you got to ask, right? And I didn't know if they would say yes or no, but they all said yes. So I wrote that book. It was called Momentum. And then after that, I was like, oh my God, that was so much fun. And by the way, I lost a lot of money on that one. I paid the ghostwriter more money than I made because I lost money. And so after that, though, I was like, this is so much fun. I didn't look at the loss as a failure. I looked at the loss as what did I learn for the next time? So I decided to do 2 more books and ended up publishing those 2 books 8 days apart. They both hit #1 international bestseller status in under 5 hours. That was my moment of, wow, I know what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I am good at this and I can make money doing this. I went all in. That was 2.5 years ago. Since that time, Vera's been in one of our books, maybe 2 even, but we've published, 33 #1 international best-selling books in just a little over 2.5 years. I found my momentum, my thing that I do best. And so with that said, it's so exciting and to be on this journey of being able to help people to share their story. My story started with I don't think I can do this. I'm nobody. Like there's no reason for me to do this, to what it is today. So we got to put ourselves out there.
I agree. We know that success is a journey of many steps. So what steps did you struggle with when you decided to quit your job?
Yeah, I was going to say several steps. Sometimes the steps are backwards. Sometimes we got to take a giant leap backwards in order to move forward. Sometimes what we'll do is we'll hold on to the things that are not really working because we're like, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. And sometimes we need to let go of that so that we can move forward in a different direction because maybe we're going down the wrong path. And so the very, very first thing I did when I left my corporate job, I was in corporate for 36 years. I had 49 jobs. My last job was working for a judge in the Court of Appeals as a legal secretary. So I had made it up that ladder, that corporate ladder. And when I decided to leave, first of all, I said, I'm going to do 7 different things. So I had 7 different business ideas going at once. And all my friends were like, you can't do that. You won't be successful because you can't focus on one thing. And I was like, nobody can tell me what to do anymore. I'm tired. 51 years of being told what to do. And I said, nobody can tell me. I'm just going to go out there and do what I want to do for the first time in my life. Now, it was a mistake, but that's okay. I learned a lot of great lessons. So my first failure, like epic failure, was I hosted an event called Lemon Zest and Garlic Fest. Great title. People loved the idea of it. But on that day of that event, I'm in San Diego, California. It was July. We never get rain in July, never. And that day, San Diego received more rain than it has ever received in the recorded history. And it was an outdoor event. So I ended up losing over $75,000 from that one event. But again, at the end of the day, I looked at the person who was helping me out a lot. And I said, next year, let's not do this. Next year, let's do this. Right. So we looked at it as like, what lessons did we learn from this particular event? So the failure actually turned into a great learning ground. And I've lived my life that way ever since then, to look at the failures as lessons learned instead of failure. I'm not a failure at all. I am actually successful because I fail.
I think that's so important. And when you listen to people who are successful, I think of Michael Jordan because he's made statements like this. You know, he failed to make the winning shot so many times in his career. And I do think that in many ways, failures are a lesson, and they give you what you need to continue and go on. So that's wonderful. Vera, do you have some questions for Linda?
Yes, I do. But before I even ask, I just want to say, Sunshine, you are the epitome of sunshine. And I know that from working with you. Your energy is just amazing. So let me ask you, getting back to the topic of happiness, how did your decision to take the leap of faith and follow your mission bring you joy and happiness?
First, I'm glad you mentioned faith, because that leap of faith is something that helps us to break through fears. Well, I was breaking through those fears every day. I asked myself, there's this saying that false evidence appearing real, is the acronym that people go by. And I was looking at that like, there is nothing false about my fears at all. They are real as real can be. They don't appear real, So I came up with my own acronym, and that's that faith erases anxious reactions. That's my acronym for fear. And so when we're experiencing fear, this means our faith is weak. See, when our faith is strong, our fear is weak. When our fear is strong, our faith is weak, right? And so when we're experiencing fear, we can tap into our faith. And I have to say, tap into your faith of yourself. Do I believe in myself enough? And if I don't, then I go outward and I ask, people that support me, not negative people, but the positive people who support me and uplift me. And I say, do you think I can do this? And how can you help me? And if they can't help me, then I tap into my higher source, which is God. And I ask God, I need your help. I need your help desperately for this. And that helps me to move through that fear, to break through it, whatever it is. And so on this journey, that's part of my happiness journey, is discovering the things that I absolutely love doing. I never in a million years would have imagined myself standing on the red carpet interviewing stars. That's not anything that was for those people. That wasn't for me. But that's something that brings a lot of joy to me when I do it now. I've interviewed so many incredible people. And one of my favorites actually is the president of Mexico, the country, Vicente Fox. I interviewed him in his presidential suite. I walked out of that interview and I said, wow, that was my Barbara Walters moment. I got to have that moment of time that I'll always remember. I'll always be able to tap back into that if I'm starting to doubt myself. But Linda, remember the time you interviewed the president? I can tap back into that to bring myself back into that state of mind of happiness and of pure joy. Finding what you love to do and then doing that on a regular basis is something we all have the ability to do. But first we have to know what we love, and then we have to make a conscious decision sometimes to do that.
You have said so much. Oh my God. And your faith, talking about your faith is amazing. I think about the scripture that says God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. And the joy of the Lord is our strength. And so being able to tap into that faith is a key to happiness as far as I can see. So let me ask you, how did confidence play a part in the opportunity to meet successful people at the Hollywood award shows and speak at important events? I mean, what you've done is amazing.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I remember the first moment that I said, I'm going to do something that really scares me. And that's to ask one of these celebrity type people to participate in something I was doing. I was sitting in the audience at this event called Secret Knock. And on the stage was Les Brown. And I was sitting in the front row. And as I was listening to him and watching him, I was just so amazed and enthralled with every word he spoke, every step he took. And I had this overwhelming sense. Now, I was not a speaker at the time, but I had this overwhelming sense of like, I want to be on that stage. But I realized it wasn't my stage. I felt this urge to actually get up there at that time, like in the moment. but I resisted that urge because I knew that it wasn't my stage. But he really inspired me when he was speaking on stage. And then when I had an opportunity to sit with him for a couple hours, later, after that event, he said something to me. And it really has stuck with me. And this has been about 8 years ago. And that was that, Linda, don't let what you want to say get in the way of what the audience needs to hear. And again, that was facing that fear of judgment. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes what happens is we get up there on stage and we get scared, we get nervous. And the reason is because we're so worried about what they're going to think about us. But if we just deliver from our heart, our soul, if we deliver the message the way it's coming through us, then we're going to deliver the message that they need to hear. And they're going to be grateful that you came and showed up and did that. And so that one statement right there has led to the confidence of getting up on stages, the confidence of interviewing celebrities. It's been really amazing.
You are amazing. And I know that hindsight is 2020. What were a few of your best decisions, and what advice would you give to someone that does not have a life coach?
Yeah, definitely. My greatest decision ever in my entire life was to do it because I'm scared. Because you're scared. So I wrote the book, Do It Because You're Scared, because I realized that the vast majority of time when we break through fears, the results are good. We're going to, pat ourselves on the back. Like, I'm so glad I did that. I met somebody that I wouldn't have met. A door was opened that I didn't even know was closed. And so if that's the result I'm going to get the vast majority of time after breaking through fears, why am I depriving myself of that? Why are you depriving yourself of that? If you're experiencing fear, you have to go do it because you're scared. Use that word because as an empowerment piece, a piece to move you forward. Instead of saying, oh, it's fear, I'm going to do it anyway. That's disempowering. Do it in spite of the fear. That's disempowering. But it's fear, I'm going to do it because I'm scared. This is an empowering movement, and it helps you to move confidently through that fear and then to gain that result on the other side.
Oh, beautiful. I read the book, Feel the Fear. But we're trying to wrap up here. So let me ask you, what is your vision for 2024? And how can our viewers follow you?
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I love this topic. You can find me at actiontakerspublishing.com. We are primarily working with on collaborative books where we help community leaders to get their messages and stories out there and have them bring together their people into a book with them. We also work with solo authors. And so really, it's really about getting your story out there. Your story, your message is very important. Somebody is out there waiting to hear it. If you can impact one person's life, was it worth it? I think so. Go on that journey, get yourself out there and your message out there. You can find us again at actiontakerspublishing.com. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Linda. And if you have additional questions for Linda Sunshine West, join our private Facebook group at Thriving Women TV and post a comment or a question. In our Thriving Women travel segment, we will be taking a 4K virtual tour of Turks and Caicos Private Island Resort, Como Parrot Cay. The Thriving Women Talk is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring. Visit us, www.thrivingwomennetwork.com, to learn more. We'll be right back.
I'm Jessica Sarkin, Director of Sales and Marketing for Como Parrot Cay, a private island resort in the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Dagmar, you're on mute.
All right. I've just been so overwhelmed how beautiful this place is that I need to bring myself back to our Thriving Women travel segment. Our mission each week is to enlighten, encourage, and empower you to plan your wow vacation to find your happiness. We hope you enjoyed the tour of Como Parrot Key. Parrot Key by Como in the Turks and Caicos is the Northern Caribbean's private island. It combines nature, a mile-long powdered beach with relaxed luxury, and a multi-award-winning island retreat. It offers a range of holistic Asian-inspired therapies as well as yoga and Pilates, and accommodation features whitewash interiors and has both beach houses and villas. The island also features private residences for maximum privacy. Water sports, diving, and island adventures complete this Parrot Key experience. Irina, is this destination on your list?
Already, yes. After watching all this beautiful video, yes, absolutely. It looks gorgeous, and I already see myself relaxing on the beautiful beach. So the travel reviews are very, very positive. Vacationers love the poolside Lotus restaurant, which serves light dishes and Caribbean-inspired lunches during the day, turning into a Southeast Asian fusion eatery by night. The Octagonal Terrace restaurant is formal with an Italian-leaning Mediterranean menu. Book a candlelit dinner for two in the Tiki Hut, which is perched away from the crowd near the waves. The signature Parrot Cake lemon cocktail is a mishmash of lemon, lime, vodka, and triple sec. This is a wow destination for a happy people. Dagmar, what are your final thoughts on today's wow vacation destination?
I think it's time to step into happiness. And even though it is not a destination, it sure helps to be enjoying the happiness while you're drinking this Parrot Key lemon cocktail on a beautiful white beach. So, Irina, we're booking ourselves next weekend. We hope that we have enlightened, encouraged, and empowered you all to plan your wow vacation and get away so you can fill in your cup.
I want to ask you a very simplistic question, but it's something that evades everybody. How does one manage to find happiness?
Oh.
It's a really simple question. But no one today is happy.
Why do you say that?
Yeah,
Do I look unhappy?
You don't. But so many people around us are just not, or they're not be able to be happy for other people or just with what they have necessarily. They're always looking for the next goal, purpose, something. It could be material vindication, it could be experiential, anything.
One simple thing is, every human experience has a chemical basis to it.
Okay.
What you call as peace is one kind of chemistry, what you call as happiness or joy is another kind of chemistry, ecstasy is one kind of chemistry, agony is another kind of chemistry, anxiety another kind of chemistry, stress another kind of chemistry. All levels of pleasantness and unpleasantness is rooted in a certain chemical background within you.
Okay.
Or in other words…
Welcome back to Thriving Women. We would like to thank our guest, Linda Sunshine West, who's best-selling author, founder, and CEO of Action Takers Publishing, for sharing her journey to find her passion, joy, and happiness. And of course, we want to thank you, our loyal viewers, for supporting our mission to enlighten, encourage, and empower women around the world to thrive, not just survive. You can watch this episode on demand at our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, or our website, thrivingwomennetwork.com, or you can just listen to the Apple or Spotify podcast. Tell a friend to tune in next week.
If you enjoyed this show, you're going to enjoy Uncomfortable Conversations on Wednesday at 12 Eastern. And Every Child Can Learn at 2 Eastern Time. You'll be enlightened, encouraged, and empowered to thrive. We encourage you to take this time to join our Thriving Women TV Facebook group and post a comment or a question about our topic. Thriving Women Talk is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring. Learn more at www.thrivingwomennetwork.com. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Debbie Weaver Rochelle.
And I'm Dagmar Fleming. We'll see you next week.
Bye.